Welcome to Magically Mindful, the podcast, where emotional alchemy, self-love, and soul remembrance collide. I am your host, Tesla, emotional alchemist, here to share my raw perspectives on growth, healing, and the journey back to your authentic self. Through soulful conversations and inspiring stories, this space holds the messy, the magical, and everything in between. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful divine soul. A big exhale because I have been wanting to press record for like over an hour, but I've just found myself in a little bit of a spiral, which I'm going to get into with you. I feel like I had the intention of what I wanted to talk about for this episode, but I just want to keep it raw and authentic and natural and just keep it very real with you as I always do. But I feel like I'm going to be meshing the thing that I had initially intended to talk about with what is presently coming up right here and right now in this moment. But all of that to say, this episode is very much about the power of your mind. Your fucking mind is so powerful. And what kind of sparked that idea, which is it's truth, okay? The truth of our minds being so powerful. Well, I know I have lots of babes in Alberta that listen. I am from Edmonton. I live in Calgary, but I was invested into the Edmonton Oilers. The fact that they made it back second year in a row to the Stanley Cup against the same team, Florida, who did win the Cup in 2024 against the Oilers. It was game 6 last night and we lost. And it was not what I was thinking of at all. But like, I was not expecting that. Like so many of us, we were like Oil in 5 because there's 7 games, the first to 4 wins. And there were several different rounds because you have the Western and Eastern conferences. And then as you progress, then you make your way to the Cup. And I don't even know. I'm like, how much of this do I want to share? I'm like, I don't want to bore anyone, okay? But I'm sure I probably actually have a lot of Oilers fans that do listen. So, hey, I am loyal to the Oil as well. But I never was really into hockey. But when I lived in California with my uncle, my GMA that I was very close with, that's her son. And although my uncle lives in California, he has for I think over 35 years, he loves the Oilers because that's where he grew up, was in Edmonton. So when I was living there over the winter, it was obviously hockey season, and I didn't really watch the games with him, but I witnessed him watching the games, and it actually reminded me of how excited my Gma would get when she would watch the Oilers because she loved them so much. And I just love my Gma, and I love anything that helps me to feel connected to her, even though she has passed. So I did have the opportunity. It wasn't an Oilers game, but I had attended a hockey game with my uncle in Anaheim. It was Penguins versus the Ducks. So I think anyways, I don't think it was LA that played. It must have been the Ducks. I don't know though. Who knows? He knows. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed myself when I went to the game. And then so the fact that the Oilers were making their way back to the Cup this year, I was fully invested and watching. So last year I had only watched the final, the game, the make or break game, the Cup game. And I got on TikTok, and this is the first time I've been, I guess that was really the only true time I've ever been viral on TikTok so far. but it was about the fucking Oilers, which is so funny. But I was saying next year when Oilers make the finals again, say we have the cup instead of saying we want the cup, because hello, mindset coaching background here, like your words are fucking law. So if you really want something, but it's like, no, speak that shit into existence. Like we fucking have it, bitch. And oh yeah, people were up in arms about that in my comments because they were like, what are you talking about? Florida has the cup. And I was like, oh my God, you don't understand what I'm saying. Relax. So anyways, I saw a clip like last night. I was spiraling. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my Instagram stories. I was just like, I was crashing out because I just did not think it was going to go down this way. And it was just brutal. The last couple games were so brutal. The score wise, I don't even want to fucking say the score. The final game, I believe it was 5-1 for Florida, and Goyle didn't get that goal until there was, I think, 7 minutes left in the whole game. It's just unbelievable to me. I was door dashing, so I wasn't really able to watch. When I'd been door dashing for previous games, I was able to listen in, but of course I was having issues and whatever. But anyways, so after work, I was crashing out a bit. And then I get on TikTok and I see this clip that was inside the Oilers locker room at the halfway point. So I'm assuming, yeah, it was probably the second intermission of the game. And Connor McDavid, who's our star player and is the coach for the Oilers, or team captain? I don't fucking know. Well, like, I know, but I'm like terms. I'm still getting better at understanding the hockey lingo. But I mean, no, their coach is the other guy. I was going to try to say his name, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to butcher his name. Like Nobla. That's what came to my mind. That's definitely. But isn't his name Chris? Is it Chris? And it's like, I don't fucking know. Oh my gosh. Don't come for me, okay? You know what I mean. But anyways, Connor McDavid, the team captain. I hope that's what they call him. Oh my gosh. Anyways, there's this clip, okay? Second intermission, so halfway through the game, and he is screaming at his teammates because he's so frustrated, and he's saying like, it's not ideal that this happens every fucking time, but like we need to fucking dig in, and like of course anyone in his position or like any of the Oilers would be feeling so motherfucking frustrated. But you could tell, like, it's like they were already accepting defeat when there was still so much hockey left to play. And from my perspective, as someone who's so, like, my life is so much about having a strong mindset, it is crazy to see that, because this was not a question of, oh, are they a bad team? No, it was that they had a bad fucking mindset. And all of my friends that I spoke with who watched the game, they were like, yeah, it seemed like they didn't want it. Whereas me, who I wasn't really able to watch it until the very end, seeing the numbers in the sense that Edmonton had more shots on Florida than Florida did on us, people were still saying it looked like they didn't want it. And so it's like, I just think mindset work should absolutely be right at the forefront, alongside, or rather go hand in hand with the training that they're putting these fucking players through. Like the mental or the physical aspect, like that's not the issue, but what the hell was going on in their fucking minds? Because if you're like, I understand this is a high stress situation, but even I will say to my friends when they're watching the game, if they're like feeling stressed out, I'm like, no, Like, you have to remain positive because energy transcends time and space. And even I'm thinking last year when I was watching the final and it was like not looking good, I was saying that to my friends, and I hadn't even watched that much hockey at that point compared to now. And I'm like, already I could tell, I'm like, what energy are we putting out there? Because, like, obviously the Edmonton Oilers aren't reading our minds, you know, but like energy is felt even if we're not in the motherfucking arena because it transcends time and space. So the mind, the fucking mind is so powerful, which I've said this before, it's our greatest blessing and also like our greatest weakness. I always want to use a different word than weakness though, like, because what's the opposite of a blessing? It's not necessarily a weakness or our demise. The mind can be our greatest demise, but also our greatest blessing and gift. But it's all about understanding how to navigate the thoughts that are coming through your mind. And so, yes, we opened up this episode talking about hockey, but this applies to anything and everything. And even for myself, like, thank God I pressed record and I'm on the mic now because I'm like feeling lit up by this. Because so for me, why I was spiraling was, well, every week I do a money date. So this is, for me, what this looks like is I have an Excel sheet where I'm tracking my spending every week, and at the end of each week I input that information into the month. So I have a sheet, or rather a tab, for each month and then a tab for each week. And I've been doing that since last year. I learned that in an online portal that I was a part of. And so I still do it, but I had fallen a few weeks behind. So I finally caught up on that yesterday. And then I'm realizing today, like, holy fucking shit, I have 6 credit cards. Okay, I knew that for a while. Like when I first talked to you about on my episode where I talk about reframing debt. And so, yeah, okay, I'm aware I have multiple credit cards, but I have, what I did for the one that has the lowest interest rate was I utilized my personal line of credit. I had $5,000 LOC, and I paid off that, or I paid it down. I didn't fully pay it off. I paid this card down that has the lowest interest rate. Like, it's definitely under 10%. It might be 7 or 8%. And that was great. And so that gave me some flexibility over the last probably 5 months or so. Like, since I came back from California, I think it was in March when I had done that. But now I only have a couple $100 left on that card. And I have a little bit of room on some other ones, but I'm basically at the point where I'm maxing out all my fucking cards. And so, you know, I'm working DoorDash to generate income. And I spoke with you on the last episode 55, about how I have this opportunity, and with like as a life insurance agent, so it's a sales job, but it's 100% commission based, and you know, it's not a get rich quick fucking pyramid scheme type of job, cancel clearly to anything else. It's, you got to fucking put in the fucking work. And I just, with everything that had been going on, if you haven't listened to episode 55 yet, definitely check it out, because like you'll get brought up to date as to like where I'm at right now. But, and all the changes that have been going on in my life personally. So with all of that, I hadn't had the capacity to sit down and learn a 14-page script and then integrate it with software, yada, yada, yada. But I'm coming up on a lot of resistance with that job. But, you know, I'm doing these DoorDash shifts, which I'm so grateful for. Do not get me wrong. But it's like, okay, but with the other job, one sale is half of your rent, versus if I want to make half of my rent, I got to work 7, 8 plus hour shifts with DoorDash, which is not sustainable for me, obviously. Like, I'm going to become fucking burnt out. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it because it's like I've been getting to explore my new part of the city, because where I'm living now, I've never lived in this part of Calgary before. So DoorDash has been great. I've been like getting to see a bunch of areas and this and that, and love just jamming out to my music. But like, the other job is a remote job, so it gives me so much more flexibility. It is that time, location, financial freedom. So it's like, but here's the thing, like, what is my mind fucking doing? And I had a friend ask me, like, what do you think, if you were to give the resistance a voice, like, what is it saying? What is it saying to you? And I'm like, well, if I just give, like, briefly think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's too hard. And that's, when you say that out loud, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, girl, okay, yeah, it's hard, but think about how much abundance it's going to bring you. So that is what is present for me right in this moment. And I just wanted to share it because I always want to, like I said, keep it so fucking real with you, because I really do pride myself in being a very confident person. And I think where that comes from, if we're speaking about human design, that comes from having a defined G center, which the G center rules our identity, our purpose, life's direction. And so because I have it defined, which means I have a gift in that center connecting to another one, but let's just try to keep it simple here, that comes easily to me. And also being a Leo, I think being a Leo sun really adds or enhances my innate confidence. And I always just thought it was the Leo thing, but then once I learned about human design and having a defined G, I was like, oh, that's where that comes from. Because I've always been very lit up by my passions. Maybe I haven't always been super confident, like as a teenager and but I I don't know. I guess another thing that's popping up is someone recently asked me, like, where do you pull your strength from? And I was like, immediately, I just thought, oh, well, I know how divinely guided, supported, loved, and protected I am on all realms, that it gives me that ability to trust and surrender. And the solid foundation that I've created within myself and my relationship to myself, which is all about self-love, acceptance, and understanding, that creates a foundation for me in my life and what keeps me so solid, right? So I think all of that plays into my strength. And it's also the mindset. Like, that's all connected to my mindset. And I haven't always had a strong mindset, but with me being vulnerable and sharing with you my little spiral that I've been moving through for the last X amount of hours, it's like I do still have moments like that, but I don't spend as much time in those moments because of all of the work that I put into my mind to like flip the script. So it's like, in that case, it's like, okay, well, Tesla, just sit down and do some work for the fucking job. Like, stop putting it off. Stop digging yourself into a deeper hole. Like, hello. But resistance and fear and our ego wants to keep us safe. And so, yeah, maybe it is feeling very uncomfortable for my nervous system because I've had so many other changes, ending my long-term relationship and then moving into a new home and having that uncertainty of money. It's like, feels unsafe in my body. So the easiest thing to do, obviously, is what feels easy is to DoorDash, because it's kind of like the path of least resistance. I already know what I'm doing. I get in my car, I go on my phone, and like use the app and I go to the fucking stores and I get the orders and I drop them off and rinse and repeat. Whereas with the new job, it's like, I don't even like, until I actually do it, I don't fully know what to expect. I don't know what the clientele is like. I know that I'm serving members of unions, but sometimes, I hear people from the company say, yeah, not everyone's very nice. So it's just like, but you can hear as I'm sharing these things, like to some of you, you're going to think those are all excuses. And, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't disagree with you there. It's definitely not my intention to make excuses for myself. I have been very honest with myself that I'm aware that I'm procrastinating and that I have this resistance. Something that I'm doing for myself to support this. So, House of Intuition, I believe I know that they have a storefront in LA. So I think that's where they started, but I could be wrong about. I'm just assuming. But House of Intuition makes beautiful ritual type products, but the ones that I'm familiar with are their magic candles. So they have these beautiful candles. I actually just got up to grab it so that I can just show you. So this is the one that I recently got. It's a success. And so they have all different types of candles with different intentions, and there is a crystal at the bottom. So yeah, you cannot see it. Like it's a surprise for once you burn through it. So these magic candles, like they're all have different intentions. And so for example, I'll read you this one. The success candle says, bring stability while promoting growth, confidence, and good fortune. Whether you are embarking on a new career project, seeking a promotion or raise, needing to get out of a tough financial situation, or alleviating the stress of job hunting. So very aligned, because I am starting the new job and also like starting to post on YouTube. So I definitely want all the success, right? And I want to support myself and pull myself out of this financial situation that I've gotten myself into over the last year, I would say. It's just been building and building and building in terms of debt, but cancel, clear, delete. It's not a forever thing. It's not a forever thing. But I'm telling you, this is a part of my Saturn return, because this is the whole fourth house. Just, the second house is all about our values and worth and money. But the fourth, because it's the most private part of the chart and it's the home life, like to me, home life is all about foundation. Like this foundation. It's such a fundamental piece of the chart, and it's like where we create safety and security. And so I know, and I said this in episode 55, I know that I'm being ushered right now through my Saturn return that I'm very much in for the next probably year or two. And I've already been in it, but anyways, I'm here to really, and plus this was actually my main intention for 2025 was, okay, so in 2024, I overcame rage, like a lifelong fucking experience with rage. And now I am working on defining and reshaping my relationship with money. So the cool thing about these candles is when you're doing a ritual with a candle, you do not want to blow out the candle. You want to let it burn all the way through, because I guess it's probably superstitious maybe that. And what I've heard is that if you blow it out, like you're blowing out your intention. So I have bought a candle from them once before, and it was this beautiful pink candle. It was called Healing. I actually don't remember what crystal came out of it. And I recently put out all my crystals, and I'm like, I don't even remember which one. But because I have so many, which is such a blessing. But they say like, yeah, this candle could take 3 to 5 days to burn. So like put it in a bowl of water for extra safety. But I took it upon myself with the healing candle to light it and then snuff it out at a certain time every day for a certain amount of time. And I was like doing this literal healing process, as was the name of the candle, healing. But this time, what I intend to do, so you know I love cord cutting and I really love Chris Corsini's cord cutting. And I've had his like access to it for just over a year, and I think I've only used it 3 times because I know when it's like, okay, it's time to use his cord cutting versus like maybe using my own cord cutting that I have recorded, which is also available on my website for purchase. It's very accessible, and it's nice because it's just short, so you can do it anytime, any place when you need to refreshen some energies and reclaim, call your energy and power back to you. But with Chris's, it's like, yeah, it's a full fucking ceremony. Like, this is not oh, I can just do it sitting in my car or something. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut cords with all of the stories around money that I have that are no longer serving me. Because the thing with money is, I learned this in this book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eckert. He talks about your money blueprint, which is formed in childhood. And I know that I have played out some of my parents' money stories. So I'm ready to fucking release all of that and, yeah, clear it all out, and also release the resistance with starting this new job, and then light this success candle and let the motherfucking magic happen. So that's what I am going to be doing to help me move through this resistance. It looks like a ritual. So if you are experiencing any resistance or spiraling, any spirals, what are you going to do to help you push the needle forward? Because that's the most important thing that we can do, is find something that helps us push the needle forward. And of course, this won't be the only thing that I do, but I know from an energetic standpoint, like, this needs to be done. But of course, what could some other options be? I mean, obviously, just taking action on the job in my case, is going to be very helpful. So that's also something I intend to do. But I think when we're feeling that way, we really do want to reframe the stories, like identify the stories that we have that is causing any resistance, and just move your body, get outside, try to get off your phone, because holy shit, the phone sucks us in so very much. So very much. Now, the last thing that I want to share, which this was initially what I wanted to record this episode about, but it's like, I just recognized that as a newly single woman, and, I had been in a relationship for basically all of my 20s. It was, yeah, pretty close to 7 years. And I think something which also connects to mindset that I recognize that is so, I just really wanted to share this because I just think there's so much power in it. Our society and our conditioning makes us feel like a breakup means that we are now broken and that we're going to suffer and it's going to be the worst thing in the fucking world. And I know a lot of my romantic experiences, I had that mindset of, oh, this is the end of the world. This is the end of the world. And something that I think is very beautiful is that, don't get me wrong, and I explained this in episode 55, I had been underground and grieving for a couple of months leading up to, well, and including like the actual breakup. So grief is always going to be a part of losing someone, romantic or not. But but what's very empowering is realizing that a breakup allows you to reclaim versus feeling like it's the end of the world and now I have to start from scratch and rebuild. Is there going to be some aspect or element of rebuilding? For sure. But I'm like so feeling into the fact that I am becoming, I am reclaiming and honoring myself. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, because our worth is not connected to another. Your worth is not connected to anyone else but you. People that we connect to in this life should enhance our experiences or teach us something, but they are not the source of happiness. They are not the source of feeling worthy, or worthy in the sense of like to be loved. Like, am I good enough to be loved? This is why I always am going to say the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself, because you are the one that is going through the beginnings and endings of so much in your life, right? It's you and you only. And it doesn't mean we're not going to experience the sadness and the heartache, but I want to empower you that if you are moving through a loss of a friend or a partner, or even grieving your old self, don't let it break you. Let it open you up. Will your heart ache? Yes. But does it really need to be broken? Heartbreak? And I think this comes with life and experience and gaining wisdom and insight. And you might not agree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. I'm just here to offer my perspective. And like I said, I haven't always been this way in like all the other types of breakups I had experienced. It did feel like my heart was broken and like it was the end of the world. But it's like, knowing what I know now and thinking back to that version of me, I'm like, obviously I just want to send her so much love, because it's like, it's never that fucking serious. And I always want to be so mindful of what I'm saying, because if my past partner listens to this, I don't want him to feel like I'm being insensitive towards him, because it's not personal. It's not about him. This is, again, just connected to all the fucking mindset work that I have done and all of the fucking love that I poured into myself, because I spent the majority of my life hating myself. So God fucking forbid that I be this confident, beautiful version of myself today. Like, I have worked motherfucking hard to get here. And I share this because I always intend and hope and wish to inspire you on your own path. And again, like, you might not be going through the exact same situation that I'm going through, but all of these themes, they translate in different areas of life. We do experience loss, and it's not easy, but it all comes down to your perception, your perspective, your perception. your beliefs. And I understand that, yeah, not everyone will feel how I feel. And that comes down to our model of reality, which means that we, I could be sitting with you right now and we could be experiencing something. But then when we leave and we go to tell a friend about that experience, we're going to be saying it differently. Or even a better example would be siblings. Like if you have a sibling and you talk with them about your childhood that you both were there to experience, but even though you were there together at the same time, your takeaways and how it shaped you as a human is going to be different. And so that's why I think, honestly, the online world can be very beautiful in the sense that we can share our truths and fucking shout out to the people that are authentic online, right? Because yeah, we can tell our stories and learn about different perspectives and different people's life experiences and gain something new from it, right? So I just think with everything that I shared on this episode, really check in with your mental health. How is it? What is the voice inside of your head? Is this your best friend or is this your worst enemy? What's one small thing that you can do to support your mental? Because it dictates everything. And coming full circle, like the fucking Oilers, you know? I believed so wholeheartedly that they had this in the fucking bag. But unfortunately, I don't think that they believed that they had it in the bag as the fucking chips kept falling, in the sense that, well, and I mean, yeah, because imagine the pressure knowing that you're back in the arena where you lost the cup exactly a year ago against the same team. And again, here you are, and the opposing team, Florida, if they win tonight, they're taking the cup home again. Like, that's a huge mind fuck. So, sports, relationships, jobs, it all comes down to your mindset. So please take good care of your mind. And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, right? You got to fake it till you fucking make it. And that's like, for me, instead of continuing this narrative that, oh, this new job is hard. No, it's easy. Remember the ask. I don't know if I've actually talked about ask affirmations on the podcast before, but it's like, okay, you have affirmations. I am beautiful. I am rich. But ask affirmations takes it next level, and they can be how or why questions. And it can be, how is this new job so easy? Why am I so good at the script? Because that signals to your subconscious mind, which is working overtime to bring you the thing. That's what it will do. When you have those ask affirmations, your subconscious mind is going to work to bring you the answers to those beautiful things. So how are we so fucking rich? How am I so rich? How am I just thriving? Yeah. Yeah. I invite you to write some ask affirmations down, maybe even put it as your phone background, or just write it somewhere where you'll be able to see it, and let me know what comes through. Because the first time I did that, I was asking, right when I learned about it, I was, how am I so abundant? And then I received like over $1,000 in cash. So it works. It fucking works. I should have been asked for mationing when I was watching the fucking finals. I should have been like, how are the Oilers scoring so many goals? But there's always next season, I guess. And I will be fucking putting in the fucking work. I just hope that they do too, in the sense of their fucking mindset. I'm not talking about the fucking sport. I'm talking about your fucking mind. Okay? So thank you as always for listening. Let me know how the episode landed for you, what resonated, if there's something that you want me to dive into deeper. I always love to hear from you. You can send me a DM at magically.mindful or email tesla@magicallymindful.ca. If this episode brought you clarity, insight, or a moment of reflection, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you share it on Instagram, tag me at magically.mindful so we can keep the conversation going. To stay updated on what's coming next, head to magicallymindful.ca. Thank you for listening and for choosing to honor your journey today.